going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about new teasers and reveals for Black Ops 6 Zombies and what's been beautifully set up for DLC 4, the Janice Towers. Definitely stay tuned. But as a reminder, we just added every piece of intel from Shattered Veil over on the Detonated Codex. The link to that database is going to be down below, which has every piece of the Dark Aether story, Chaos from BO4, and what will eventually be the Classic Aether story that we'll likely be adding later this summer. Also, don't forget, you can use code DYNAMITE to save 12% off any order on Control Freak, including for all the Zombie Edition thumbsticks and the brand new Speed Cola Collector's Can. Inside, you'll get some thumbsticks and, of course, an in-game Speed Cola weapon charm. Now, jumping into the Shattered Veil, first and foremost, let's break down exactly what happened in the map and what it may have set up for what I believe is going to be the final map of Black Ops 6 Zombies, which will likely be releasing at some point after Season 4. So starting with the Haunted Mansion itself, Shattered Veil begins with Weaver and the crew tracking Richtofen after escaping Terminus and obtaining the Sentinel artifact at Citadel and the Tomb. Guided by the SAM AI, they arrive at a spooky mansion above Liberty Falls, expecting to face Richtofen and bring Maxis back to life. This place is steeped in occult history with ties to Dark Aether rituals and the shattering of space-time in the past, making it ideal for Richtofen's mysterious experiments. There's also a lot of dark history with this haunted mansion, so the crew access liminal spaces via portraits, which are like pocket dimensions with ghostly versions of historical figures linked to the mansion. These reveal its past, like the 1800s cult led by Josiah Shem, who worship Dark Aether entities, hinted to be Cortifex when they are referred to as the Deathless One by Shem, but it's never confirmed. Their botched rituals left the mansion cursed, shattering space-time and trapping Shem in a liminal space. Richtofen targeted this spot for its prima materia, the substance he needs to revive his dead family. Now, Richtofen's motivation, which has been theorized about by the community since the end of Cold War, is finally unveiled here. A decade ago, Weaver and Samantha Maxis botched an assassination attempt on him, accidentally killing his wife Mary and son Samuel in a fire. Since then, Richtofen's been fixated on bringing them back, experimenting with cloning and occult rituals inspired by his adoptive father, Gabriel Kraft, the demonologist from Vanguard Zombies, who sadly passed away at the end of Citadel. But intel finally brings back Dr. Panos, a character who hasn't been seen since the events of Liberty Falls. He's a mysterious scientist who betrayed the Janice strike team at the very end of the Easter egg and is confirmed to be wreaking havoc across Liberty Falls and was last spotted at the Janice Towers. After betraying the crew, he's allied with a now confirmed to be male Dark Aether entity. While people theorized it was Maxis or Sam on launch, the use of he in the intel does mean that it almost certainly can't be. It's possible that the Shadow Smith from Modern Warfare Zombies ending, who's promised him power, is the person that Panos is talking to, but Panos was last seen on CCTV heading to the towers with Blanchard in pursuit to stop him. This means both characters will almost certainly appear in our next map, which could be the finale, Janice Towers. Now, the SAM AI, who's been helping the crew, betrays them after they charge the Sentinel artifact with prima materia. She teleports them to a liminal space, the same place she sent Richtofen back in the Liberty Falls cutscene. She claims that she's putting them, quote, somewhere safe to avoid interference. In reality, though, Sam wants to use the artifact to become Samantha Maxis, not to save her like she told our characters, but inhabiting her body to gain godlike Dark Aether power. This betrayal positions her as a major villain heading into Janice Towers, where she's likely already gone. But this kind of reminds me of Sophia from the end of the Black Ops 3 story. But jumping into Weaver and Richtofen's tense alliance. In the liminal space, Weaver confronts Richtofen, ready for revenge, but Richtofen reveals that Weaver and Maxis killed his family, shocking the entire crew. And yeah, they could have done a better job with showing the crew's reaction, but instead of fighting, Richtofen proposes using a device linked to Josiah Shem's past space-time shattering, which is not yet named, to escape and stop the SAM AI. They reluctantly team up, escaping together and heading for the exit of the mansion. But as we saw with the ending boss fight, our crew does escape with the device unleashing temporal energy, reanimating a T-Rex fossil in the mansion's foyer. Starting the Z-Rex boss fight, the crew and Richtofen work together to take down the boss, but if we look closer at the big burst of energy that comes from the Z-Rex fully coming to life, it seems to be nearly the same effect that comes from the shield of energy around the Sentinel artifact, only turned yellow to match the color of the liminal space that Richtofen was inside. So again, this is a big connection to the Chaos story from Black Ops 4, which I think in Black Ops 6 hasn't been explored all that much, but there's a lot of potential with where this greater connection can go, especially as we enter COD 2025. Now, at the very end of the boss fight, Richtofen warns our crew that the ether reactors at Janice Towers, huge structures visible from Liberty Falls and Shattered Vale, are nearing a meltdown. Built on an old nuclear power plant owned by Sam Colton, these towers are linked to Project Janice and seem to be their HQ. A meltdown could potentially pull Liberty Falls into the dark ether itself, and Sam plans to use the Sentinel artifact there to become a godlike entity, setting up a final confrontation between her and Richtofen for the artifact's power. But the outro cutscene does show our crew, led by Richtofen, walking toward Janice Towers, confirming it as the next map. With Sam's plan, the reactors melting down, and Panos' schemes, it's seemingly poised as the Black Ops 6 Zombies finale. This is inspiring contentious debate between Zombies fans because leaker The Ghost of Hope has repeatedly claimed that the game is going to receive a DLC 5, meaning another map after Janice Towers. However, no other locations are teased. All of the characters seem to be set to finally collide here, and COD 2025 is approaching at the end of the year. There's also no leaks out there suggesting that any other maps do exist in the game's files. As of now, it seems to me that Janice Towers is probably the finale, and Black Ops 6 won't receive any kind of extra Zombies DLC, but I would love to be wrong here. I mean, if anything, it's possible that Black Ops 7 Zombies gets more than 4 DLC maps, since at that point, Treyarch won't have to worry about another Call of Duty title that releases in fall of 2026. But as far as what's next and the future of SAM, the post-ending of the main quest is where you can see that Sam's underground chamber in the mansion is now empty. She's likely teleported to the Janice Towers. In-game, when she's there, she's nearly indestructible, laughing off attacks from weapons like the Wunderwaffe and the Ray Gun Mark II. This suggests that Janice Towers may feature a massive boss fight against Sam, requiring a powerful new weapon to bring her down, and Treyarch used her appearance in the Shattered Vale to tease how powerful that she really is. Now, to add some speculation here, we do know that based on leaks, we're going to be seeing a pistol-like wonder weapon inside of DLC 4. Of course, that's subject to change, but it's been fun to speculate that a version of the Cerberus could be coming back, which is a wonder weapon that we got back in Marauder Toten. Although it likely won't be a reimagined wonder weapon, it'll probably be completely new. Still cool to think about what they could do with a new pistol wonder weapon. Now, it seems for Janice Towers, we can expect Richtofen and the crew to be working side by side to stop Sam and reclaim the Sentinel artifact. We also know that Blanchard and Panos are going to face off, likely resulting in us getting the identity of Panos' Dark Ether ally finally revealed. This could be the Shadowsmiths to set up their role as potential villains in COD 2025. As we know from a Tom Henderson article earlier in the year, they are set to go against new versions of the original characters inside of Black Ops 7. All these conflicts will also be pressed for time as the Ether reactors begin to melt down and can mean the destruction of all of Liberty Falls. Now, what I'm hoping for here is that in DLC 4, we end up seeing maybe an intro cutscene, although it's unlikely, but possibly a big mid-Easter egg cutscene and boss fight dealing with Panos, kind of similar to what we saw with Nathan back in Terminus, and then towards the very end of the quest, we could face off against SAM, put her down for good, and hopefully get some resolution that could also serve as a cliffhanger for Black Ops 7, reintroducing multiversal variants of the original characters, and it could also possibly give us a little bit more closure on some of these greater Chaos connections that we've been seeing all year long. But either way, like I've mentioned in previous videos, Modern Warfare 3 Zombies did end on a bit of a cliffhanger, but I don't think that was even teasing what we're going to be seeing in Black Ops 6. I think instead, the storyline with Ava Jansen and the Shadowsmiths pulling her through a mirror is actually something a lot more relevant to what we're going to see within Black Ops 7, which may be introducing us to a brand new round-based Outbreak hybrid-like map at the launch, which is considered, according to leaks, the largest round-based map that Treyarch has ever made. But whether or not we're going to be seeing a full linear timeline where our crew ends up sacrificing themselves after Dr. Gray becomes a surrogate for Ava, whether that happens a couple of years after the events of Janice Towers is unknown. Either way, I don't think we're going to get a flash forward several years at the end of Black Ops 6. I think whatever it is, it's going to happen with our crew either sacrificing themselves or changing the timeline to prevent their deaths. I think that is all going to be addressed and possibly resolved with Treyarch's next Call of Duty title. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comments section. What are your thoughts on the complete story of DLC 3 Shattered Vale, and how do you feel that it beautifully sets up what is going to be the climax and conclusion of Black Ops 6 with Janice Towers DLC 4? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.